What's good, y'all? Shagai Makai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber helps. Over here on this channel, we upload daily NBA content. So if you enjoy the NBA as much as I do, make sure you subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about, the whole Russell Westbrook situation and what I think about, what he should do. Not what I think about, but really my opinion on the truth about Westbrook. I'm here to tell you the truth about Russell Westbrook because I think it's not, something that's commonly understood by, NBA fans globally. So the truth about Russell Westbrook is, honestly, I think he's just more interested in being the man than sacrificing himself and sacrificing, his fame, his notoriety for, the greater good for a championship. And not saying that, he would leave a definite, win now situation to, not pass that, but to, make himself look better. But when you look at what he just left, his best shot to win a championship while he closes out his career, it's clear where his priorities are, and I don't blame him one bit, because, you got to ask yourself, is Houston with James Harden and Russell Westbrook this year, are they really contending for a championship? Not really, but like you could say they're contenders, but when you really, break it down, they're not really, gonna be in the finals. They're not making it out the West. But with Russell Westbrook, it's like his mindset is just, why would I go to Houston? I'm sacrificing, my fame, my numbers. I'm sacrificing the way I like to play in order to fit into this system around James Harden, just so we could lose in the second round. Because I was watching the Through the Wire podcast, earlier today. That's a good podcast. Y'all check that out. But one of the guys on there, I think his name is Pee Wee the Plug or something like that. And he was saying that, why Westbrook is saying, like, why would I sacrifice my role, like my way of, playing basketball just for us to lose in the second round? Because, and I agree with that, because it's like, why is Russell Westbrook doing that just to do what he was doing, when he was on his own? Not that he was going to second rounds anyway, but I'm saying, like, if you sacrificing all that, if Russell Westbrook, taking the ball out of his hands a lot more than it was, being taken out OKC, you sacrificing all of that to play with James Harden, and the front office is messing around, just experimenting with the whole micro ball thing and just having no big man, which helped Westbrook. Don't get me wrong, they did that for Westbrook. It cleared the lane and for a time it worked. Pre-COVID, Westbrook was on a tear. He was doing amazing. He was the best player. I don't want to say the best player on the Rockets, but for a while, James Harden was not doing well, and Westbrook was stepping up. He had amazing numbers. So I know the exact numbers, no, but he had amazing numbers. I want to say in around February, around March, like around that time, right before the NBA shutdown happened. But yeah, why is Russell Westbrook doing that when he could be, taking a trash team, taking them to the playoffs, going to the first round, getting bounced out of the first round or second round in the East. And then, the media is going to be like, oh, look what Russell Westbrook did for this team. Look at what he averaged. It's just like, at this point in his career, I think he's more satisfied with being the man. And that's a report that came out. He said that, it's reported that he's more satisfied with being the guy, like being the number one option. Everybody else just, works around him. You don't have to, deal with anybody else. It's you, the basketball, and what you want to do with the basketball. And that's kind of how it flew OKC a little bit, because honestly, KD kind of let Russell Westbrook go crazy. And I think that's low-key what cost them, a real shot at competing for a title, because if KD would have put his foot down and just been like, nah, bro, this is my team. You're not going to be forcing up all these terrible shots. I'm one of the best players in the world. You're my sidekick. Like, Russell Westbrook really thought that he was on KD's level. And KD let him get away with that. The front office let him get away with that. And that's going to haunt them for the rest of their careers, because it's like, why would you let Russell Westbrook believe that he was the guy over Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant is obviously miles better than Russell Westbrook at any point in their careers together. And you just, it costed them. That's all I got to say. It costed them. But the truth about Russell Westbrook is, and it's not, some harsh truth or some, crazy truth, but the truth is, he'd rather average his triple-double, average his super high numbers, take a trash East team to the playoffs. Like, let's say he gets traded to the Knicks. Are you telling me that he wouldn't be more satisfied taking the Knicks to, the playoffs to get bounced in the first round, rather than stay in Houston, get bounced in the second round, not really compete for a championship, and have reduced stats at the same time. I mean, does it make sense that the trade-off makes sense? No. Like, would you rather go further in the playoffs but not really compete for a championship? Nah, it doesn't really matter. Either you're competing for a championship or you're not. The Rockets are not going to be competing for a championship. I personally, I think they should blow it up. But yeah, that's really the truth about Russell Westbrook, man. It's just he'd rather be the man. He'd rather be the guy. He'd rather get them numbers. He'd rather, you know, not saying that he does not want to win a championship. But at this stage in his career, what is he? He just turned 32, like, I want to say yesterday, 2 days ago. He's 32. He's an aging athletic point guard. He's one of the best athletic point guards ever, but you can see he's lost his step. He's not as explosive as he once was. Not that he should be. Like, you lose a step as you age, but at this stage in his career, once he gets traded from the Rockets, that's it. There's no championship in his future, unless some crazy out of this world trade happens where he gets traded to a contender. Like, not crazy out of this world, but let's say he gets traded to the Clippers. Would there be a chance that they win a championship there? Of course there would be, but I don't see that happening. I think he gets traded to either the Hornets or the Knicks, and he just finishes out his career there by taking a trash Hornets team or a trash Knicks team to the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, I love Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is one of my guys, but he just, he's not that guy when it comes to being the final piece missing on the championship team. You can't look around the league and see a team where you add him and it's like, man, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. You can't see a team where you add them and like, man, they're going to be the favorites. That's the problem about it, because a lot of guys think, when we talk down on Russ, we hating on him and we slandering him, and it's just like, nah. We saying this because he doesn't fit in a lot of spaces. He doesn't fit on a lot of teams where it's not built to suit him. It's not built around him. If it's not really built around him, then it's not really, gonna work. It never has worked, you know what I'm saying? Like, has he been to the finals once? Yeah, he has. Has he been to the Western Conference Finals? Once? Yeah, he has. But when you look at, Russ and PG and OKC, for a time he did let Paul George do his thing. But then, when worse came to worse, Russell Westbrook went exactly back to what he is at his heart. He's a superstar. He's a star. He wants to be, in the brightest lights and the biggest moments. And, the Knicks are perfect for a guy like that. The Knicks are perfect for a guy who wants fame, notoriety. He wants to be the biggest star on the planet, one of the faces of the NBA, but at the same time be able to, play basketball his way. Because that's really the truth about, Russell Westbrook, man. He doesn't really care about championships. He must not care about championships at this point, because he knows that the trade package for him is not going to be too extensive. It's not going to be too crazy. It's not going to be, a super, super valuable package. But it's going to be the best you can do for Russell Westbrook. And at this stage in his career, it's just like you're going to have to settle, for going to a trash team and, doing it your way. Will it be exciting to see Russell Westbrook, do his thing again? Of course it will. But will it be, championship basketball? No, it will not. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at the end of the day, NBA players just want to play basketball and, get paid while doing it. That's a heck of a bonus. So do I blame Russell Westbrook for, wanting to play his way and not really sacrifice like that? I don't blame him one bit. But I don't want people acting like, it's bad to say that Russell Westbrook, wouldn't be, the missing piece on a championship team. Because, I challenge y'all to, write in the comments. What team can Russell Westbrook be realistically added to where that team would go from a championship contender to a championship favorite? Or even like a team that's like, those teams that are like one piece away and then you really look at them like, oh wow, they could really make some noise in the playoffs. Like, what team can Russell Westbrook seamlessly fit in, currently constructed, that is realistic, that it would turn them into title favorites or even heavy contenders? You know what I'm saying? There's really no team in the NBA like that, and that's Russ's problem. Russ's problem is that you got to build it around him. You have to be able to let him do his thing his way, and that's just not how it works. You got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to, especially with a guy like Russ with his skill set, you got to be able to adapt around that. And it just never worked throughout his entire career. Sadly, he's gonna be one of those guys who never wins a championship. And of course we're gonna remember him for the MVP season, for averaging a triple double 3 seasons straight. But when it comes down to the Pantheon greats, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest players to never win a championship, and I'm sad that it had to end this way. But yeah, if you stay to the end of this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.